Your mileage may vary on this advice, but I like a board that sits as close to the deck as possible, not held up in a soldering vise. On the deck is a better place, in my opinion. I hold the iron and rest my hand on the deck. So I'm not trying to do something up in midair. Again, look at your work. Excess solder, drag it out of the way. Wipe it off. When I'm not making videos, I actually have an inspection lamp. It doesn't do well on camera. We have another socket, same rules apply. There's a notch on the silk screen. There's a notch on the socket. We want them to line up. There we go. Do the same thing. Bend opposite tabs out or in, doesn't matter. Solder the bent tabs. Thermal barrier. Hold on to the socket. Wait till it melts. Tighten that corner up. Move to the opposite corner. Wait till it melts. There we go. Then we'll do that. We have these two components and these two components. These mate together like this and then tighten against each other. I don't think it matters whether this goes here or whether this goes here. Whichever we do not use, the other one goes to this. This is going to sit like this, with these holes here above these holes. I think if we examine the kit, we'll find that there are some spacers. And the brass spacers this is the circuit board. We've soldered these components to it. The copper pillars or brass pillars space these two things apart. In order to keep everything lined up, and these screws may be too long. In fact, they are too long, but maybe temporarily we'll just put some spacers on the screws. Put the screw in the hole and put the spacer on the screw. Do the other side the same way. Then, as I say, I don't think it matters. Put one in here. We'll stick these together. That's what we'll do. Stick these together. They'll just push together like that. Put one in here. There we go. We'll set this on top of it with our holes all lined up. They said we'll set this on top of it. Yes. With the holes all lined up. See? And another spacer and a screw. So that holds everything in place. Now we just go down the rows, solder. There's some protective coating here that we leave on. I'm just tugging off the roll here. Do enough solder. Once that's done, we'll just flop it over and continue with the other side. All right. Two more little things to solder. So we're going to take these boards back apart. So we get it to this point, we can take this back out. Take the rest of our hardware off. Put it all back in the bag. So, unless we see any other holes, these 4 holes we're not going to use. The only holes I see left are these 2 sets here. Here and here, here and here. I believe that this is going to set this adjustment is going to be the brightness for this display. And there's a hole drilled in the side of the case so I can reach in and turn it. This little round thing, and I'll see if I get this in focus. See how it's got that zigzag, zigzag, roundy, roundy, round trace on it? That corresponds to the silk screening here, supposedly. And it's going to be in here, but it's going to be looking out through this hole, which is in the side, see? Well, the hole doesn't quite line up with the thing. So what I'm going to do is sort of bend it a little bit. Not quite enough. And then I'm going to make it look out. So I want to get it a little further over. Something like that. We'll go ahead and put it in position with the soldering iron. There we go. So there we go with everything soldered in place. We do have one leftover component, but I think it truly is a spare component. I looked all over the wiring diagram or schematic, and I see a 0.01. That's that fellow. A 10 microfarad electrolytic. You can tell by the positive sign. And that's this fellow. And then 2 located here. And you see how they're next to the crystal oscillator, Y1. Well, there's the 2 capacitors, and there is Y1. And I don't see any other. This is a battery, which goes in there. 3 resistors, 2 switches, a potentiometer, which is this little fellow, a light variable resistor and a temperature variable resistor, a sounder. We can take that off. Sounder has a magnet in it, so it tends to pick up stray pieces of stuff. But I'm going to say we're done with this fella. With all the components soldered and all the holes filled except for these 2 itsy bitsy through holes here and these 4 unused programming holes. With all the holes filled, we should have this left. That'll be the end of part 3. I did find this document which came with the kit on the web at this address. It was an HTML. I imported it into Word and then saved it after minor editing as a PDF. At the same website I found some very nice photographs of the assembly. Very nice, 25 pages I believe. However, the instructions were almost unreadable. I went ahead and edited all of the instructions to put them in some sort of readable form. Again, it was in HTML. I imported it into Word and saved it as a PDF. So both the Word and PDF files for these 2 documents, the bill of materials, and I think one other thing are in the subdirectory listed at the bottom of this video. I hope you come back for part 4, and if you have any suggestions for any other things like this that would fit this series, please get a hold of me. Thank you.